Galactic aliens threw a female medic into the cell of their deadliest wolf, but didn't know she was a healer. That's what they didn't realize. That she wasn't a soldier, wasn't a spy, wasn't a threat. At least, not in the way they thought. They threw her into the cell of their most savage beast, expecting screams and blood. What they got instead was silence. Then something much more dangerous. The prisoner, Dr. Calla Ren, was bleeding from her scalp and lip when they dragged her through the cold steel corridors of the dreadnought Caracthol. Her hands were bound behind her back, her white medic's uniform stained with plasma soot. She staggered, half conscious, one leg burned through her boot. Behind her, the Sarnathi guards hissed in their native clicks and growls. 10-foot insectoid in armor that shimmered with biolight. They consider her nothing more than a nuisance, an expendable human captured during a skirmish on the border planet Myra 9. Unarmed, untrained, one guard muttered in their tongue. Still breathing. She's yours, beast. They opened the vault door. Calla barely had time to register the growl before she was thrown inside. The door slammed shut. The beast. It was called Rovok by the Sarnathi. A genetic weapon from a forgotten war. Part lupin, part something older, hungrier, clawed and muscled like a nightmare. It stood nearly 3 meters tall, fur like coiled shadows, a maw lined with retractable tusks. Dozens had died trying to control it. Calla lay on the floor, blinking against the pain. Slowly, she sat up. The creature didn't lunge. It watched. She met its eyes, 6 of them, golden and glowing, not empty, not mindless. It was hurt, blood crusted along one of its hind legs. The bone was exposed. Its breathing was ragged. You're wounded, she whispered. The beast growled low. I'm not your enemy. She moved, slowly, cautiously. Every step a risk. Every heartbeat a countdown. The beast snarled, reared slightly, but it didn't strike. She reached into her pocket with trembling fingers and pulled out a small sterile vial, one she'd stolen from the Sarnathi medbay while restrained. An antibiotic, a coagulant, basic tools, a medic's last resort. I can help. The bond begins. She worked in silence. At first, it flinched from her touch, bared its teeth. But when she swabbed the wound and the pain eased, the beast exhaled. Trust is a fragile thing, especially when born in cages. Over the next days, though time blurred in the cell, Calla cleaned its injuries, spoke softly, told stories, offered scraps of food. Rovok never responded in words, but she learned to read the twitch of its ears, the flick of its tail, the deep-chested hum it made when she was near. She named him Ash. It just felt right, above them. The Sarnathi watched with contempt and curiosity. She hasn't died, noted Commander Strix. Unfortunate. We expected carnage. She tends to it, said another. The beast is calmer. Then let them stay. Let's observe longer. To them, Calla was a disposable test. A human lab rat. But in the cell, something was changing. The escape. On the 12th cycle, alarms blared across the Caracthol. A human strike team had infiltrated the vessel. Explosions rocked the lower decks. In the chaos, the cell's power flickered. The door hissed open. Calla turned to Ash. This is it. I can get out. The beast stared. Come with me? It hesitated, then rose. Together, they ran. The ship burns. The corridors were chaos. Flames broke in bulkheads. Plasma shots flying. Calla ducked and dodged, Ash tearing through Sarnathi's soldiers like paper. Not killing unless threatened. Only clearing the way. They reached the hangar bay. A fighter was docked, its hatch open. Then a voice. Calla. She turned. Lieutenant Vane, her old squad mate, Scorch was alive, waved her over. "We got a bird, let's go." Calla ran forward, but Ash didn't follow. He stood at the edge of the hangar, staring back down the corridor. "Come on," she yelled. Ash growled, deep and conflicted. His eyes shimmered with something close to sorrow. "Ash!" Then he turned and ran the other way. Why he stayed, later, she would understand. He had led her to freedom, ensured her escape, but he had been born a weapon, created in chains. If he boarded that ship, he'd be hunted, studied, dissected. If he stayed behind, they'd assume he'd turned on her, that she had nothing to do with the escape. He was protecting her. Again. And this time it meant goodbye. Weeks later, back at Human Outpost, Calla sat on a bench, staring at the stars. Her wounds were healing, but something deeper remained raw. The others called her a hero. She didn't feel like one, until the transmission arrived. Encrypted, untraceable. A single line of text, translated from Sarnathi. "The wolf no longer howls. It remembers." She smiled, eyes wet. He was alive. Epilogue. Across the galaxy, rumors spread of a creature once caged, now roaming the shadowed edges of the stars. Some say it's a ghost. Some say it defends medical ships in danger. Some say it hunts slavers and disappears before being seen. But Calla knows the truth. He's still out there, watching, waiting, and one day she'll find him again.